Hey, what's up, Water's Edge? This is Matt Hoover, one of the campus pastors right here at Water's Edge. And I want to share with you some of my thoughts about Pastor Stu's finale message of our series 21. Now, I'm going to show you a clip of a segment of that message, and then I'm going to hop on right after that segment. I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts. So check this out.
Therefore, because of his worth, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer, here's our offer, here's the offer that you should make, to offer your bodies, everything you are, your entire being, as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Offer your whole life. Bring all that you are. Put it in God's hands. Why? Why would I do that? Well, because I know this is a God who's never needed a counselor. And this is a God who's never needed to repay a loan. And this is a God that I've never been able to figure out his ways. So of course I'm going to offer my whole life to him. That's a reasonable offer based on the incredible worth of our God. And this is what we carry with us into 2021. We carry with us, church, an experience with God and a knowledge of who he is and a response of our lives, sacrifice. Every single day we're living sacrifices. And why wouldn't we be? Because he's worthy of the sacrifice of our life.
Come on, everybody. Wow. I know the idea of being a living sacrifice doesn't sound all that appealing to most of us, but seeing it from the perspective that we are choosing to sacrifice for a God who sacrificed so much for us, that loves us, and that is so much more powerful and stronger and greater than us, makes sacrificing a little bit easier to actually do. Come on, are you with me on that? Now, what I took away from Pastor Stu's message on Sunday is that to be a living sacrifice, we have to do three things, all right? And this wasn't in his notes, but this is what I took away from it. Number one, we got to surrender. Number two, we got to be willing to follow. And number three, we got to do it daily. See, sacrifice requires surrender. God simply asks us to surrender our thinking and our ways of doing things, which, let's be honest, many times leads us into trouble, okay? Anyway, so to embrace his ways for our lives is probably the better option. Luke chapter 22, verse 42 says this, and this is Jesus talking. It says, "Not my will, but your will." And that's the heart of surrender. We willfully surrender our will and embrace God's will for our lives. Now, number two, the second thing I talked about is we've got to be willing to follow. Now, sacrifice doesn't stop at the point of surrender, okay? We must then follow God's ways into the future, okay? Even if they seem to make no sense or seem completely counterintuitive to what we would instinctually want to do. But that's the point, okay? A living sacrifice does not follow their own urges and their own instincts, but they choose to follow by faith. Oh my goodness, guys. Living sacrifices live by faith. And I love how Pastor Stu wraps it all up by communicating that being a living sacrifice is not a one-time thing or a weekly thing, right? Or even a monthly thing or annual thing. But being a living sacrifice is something we got to choose to do daily. God desires to lead us every single day. What we have to decide is, will we surrender to him and follow his ways daily? See, guys, God desires to move in your life and in your situation, no matter what it looks like right now. All we have to do is make the choice, and you can make this choice right now. Make the choice to surrender to God and follow his ways as a living sacrifice. Thanks for tuning in for Sermon Thoughts, and we'll see you this weekend.